There is one simple question that can eliminate almost all of your self-doubt, and it's a question that most women never stop to ask. Does it actually matter what anyone else thinks of you? Most women think their self-doubt comes from other people judging them. But after watching myself and other women for decades, I've realized there is a twist. The harshest judge most women will ever face is the one living inside their own head. And the strange thing is, most women don't even realize they've built their own prisons of limitation. In this video, I want to show you where that inner judge comes from and how to finally stop letting it run your life. Hi, this is Elisa, the Rebel Crone, a place where we talk about stepping into your natural authority as you get older by peeling back the layers of limiting beliefs and programming. Because the truth is, when you really examine the hesitation, the fear, the second guessing that many women experience, it usually comes down to one thing: the fear of being judged. Women have a reputation for being catty, for gossiping and putting other women down. Some of us grew up not trusting other women because of that. But here's the irony. The harshest judge in the room usually isn't other people. It's the voice inside your own head. You're not good enough. You're not ready yet. You're not perfect. Not smart enough. Not pretty enough. Not skinny enough. Not qualified enough. I'm not ready. I need more time to perfect myself. So instead of moving forward in life, women can sit in endless evaluation mode until things are perfect. The time is right and they are fully ready. My mother was a very smart, talented, and beautiful woman that everyone loved. But she was a perfectionist. Everything had to be done a certain way, her way. Of course, I grew up to eventually stop listening to her, but the imprint was there, and over time, I internalized that voice. I became extremely driven, but also extremely hard on myself. I went for a lot of things in life, but I wouldn't put myself out there until I felt truly ready, truly good at that thing. And the problem with that strategy is simple. If you wait until you're perfect, you often never start, or in my case, the process getting ready to start is often so intense that it lacks joy. It wasn't until middle age that I realized something even more scarier than failing or presenting myself before I felt ready. And that was this: dying without ever doing the things I wanted to do. So what did I do? I started a bucket list. This time I did it differently though. I just went for it. In my raw, unready, unperfect state, I became a ski patroller. I took a chance and remarried. I wrote my first novel at 58, a second novel at 62, and now I'm here with a YouTube channel, and I'm in my 60s. If you go back far enough in Western culture, there's an interesting idea that shows up again and again. The idea that humans are born being flawed. In religious language, it's called original sin. The belief that something about us is already wrong from the very get-go and needs to be corrected. Now, whether you take that idea literally or symbolically, it has a powerful psychological effect. People are constantly trying to prove they are good enough, and women carry an even heavier version of that burden. For centuries, a woman's reputation, morality, and perfection were constantly monitored. Women were valued largely for their reputation and their moral perfection. A woman's worth was tied to being virtuous, being correct, being respectable, being above criticism. You could make a mistake as a man and recover, but for a woman, reputation was everything. One mistake, one slip-up was all it would take to ruin your life, and I mean absolutely ruin it. What happened over time is that a woman's expectation of judgment turned inward. Women learned to monitor themselves constantly to avoid this trap. They learned to judge themselves before anyone else had the chance to. This was passed down to us in unspoken terms. Judge yourself first before anyone else can, just in case. The irony is that the inner judge was meant to protect you, but over time it became the guard in your own psychological prison, sent there by the judge in your own head. When that inner judge runs the show, something predictable always happens. Women wait until they feel perfect before taking action. They wait until they feel certain. They wait until they feel confident. But you know what? Confidence never comes from thinking. Confidence comes from movement. So what happens? Life gets postponed. The job promotion never happens because you never go for it. The relationship you want never comes around because you stop putting yourself out there, or you stay in one that is sucking your life energy because you're too afraid to leave. What if? It seems easier to stay put than to go after your dream, so your dreams never manifest. The life that you long for remains a wishful daydream. Potential stays locked inside, not because women lack ability, but because they're waiting for permission or for perfection that never arrives. The biggest irony in all of this is that the things the inner judge warns you about, the big things to fear, almost never happen. Here's something that seems to come more naturally to men. They try something, they stumble, and maybe they fail. And what happens? Life goes on, the world keeps spinning. Women are rarely encouraged to learn this truth. You don't have to be ready to begin. You become ready by beginning. Here's the realization that changed everything for me. Other people's opinions do not determine my life. My opinion of myself does. The real question I learned isn't, what will people think of me? The real question is, do I respect myself for trying? Because when you respect yourself for showing up, learning, failing, and growing, other people's judgments lose power over you. If you think becoming a ski patroller at 48 or writing 2 novels in my later years or starting this channel came easily, guess again. So here's a simple practice. The next time you feel self-doubt, ask yourself one question. Am I afraid of failing, or am I afraid of judging myself if I fail? The distinction changes everything, because once you stop punishing yourself for imperfection, action becomes much easier. Self-doubt doesn't disappear because other people approve of you. It disappears when you stop requiring your own perfection, when you stop acting like a ruthless judge and start acting like a wise guide. And when that shift happens, the world suddenly gets a lot bigger. Because you realize the prison door was never locked in the first place. It was all just a self-imposed illusion of limitation.